Peace, fam.
Today, y'all been calling for us to do this particular stream for the longest, and I kept blaming Ali. I was like,
it ain't my fault. It's Faye's fault. It's Faye's fault.
And I'm like, yo, we got to do this show. And Ali kept saying, look, man, we got to get somebody on that was like there. So,
Facts.
you know, I'm looking at Ali. I'm a Queens dude. Ali is a Bronx dude, Harlem.
I'm Harlem.
You know what I'm saying? So It's like, yeah, but we need somebody from the Bronx. We need somebody that was there. You know, we grew up in New York, but it's different when you were right there. And when we watched the videos on Michael Wayne TV, shout out to brother Michael Wayne. There was always one brother that we always seen, and that was the brother DJ FaZe. And man, listen, the interview that he did, go to Michael Wayne TV, check out the interview with DJ FaZe and a brother by the name of the Green Eyed Genie. Like, it was so crazy because in this interview, they were corroborating each other's events, and they hadn't seen each other in like 40 years. You know what I'm saying? So it was powerful. Yeah. And, you know, we're going to get into that tonight too. So look, fam, y'all already know what it is. Make sure y'all click that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe button. There's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button. Click that little bell icon so that you can become a part of the notification nation and get notified every time Be the Power goes live. I've been waiting for this one right here, man. Brother Ali, you want to say anything before we bring our esteemed guest on?
Yeah, it's so crazy, man, because I just found out, you know, and he's going to go, I guess he can go into it if he wants. You know, I knew he had a relationship with Jazzy J, but I just found out it was even more than, you know, even deeper than what I initially thought, you know, because he worked at the studio, and I was just telling him that myself and my brother were both music producers, worked at J's studio up on Allerton Avenue in the Bronx
Wow.
when Lady B has set it up, because Lady B from Philly, a lot of people know who she is because she's like a
Mm-hmm.
radio DJ, this whatever. And so she was managing my sister's rap group, and she was also managing our production company at the time. And so she had set it up for us to work with a Philly rapper named Ice Cream T. I don't know if you remember Ice Cream T, Lord,
I don't know. It
but
sounds
yeah, she had
familiar.
she was like one of them one hit wonders type of thing
Mm-hmm.
from out of Philly. But that was B's girl, so she had brought her up here, and you know what I'm saying. Her B and Jazzy J was real cool, so they set it up, and we was working up there. I think we cut like a song or two or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But that was like in the
Indeed.
'90s, man. But anyway, we go into that later.
Indeed, indeed. It looks like Brother Faze is having some connection issues. I got
Yeah, he
him in the
said the
back.
internet was bad where he's at.
Okay, okay, cool. I got him in the back office. As soon as he pops up, I'm gonna add him to the stream. All right, there we go. So look, fam, look, without further ado, we're gonna bring on this legend right here. And matter of fact, let me say, I want to say this before I bring the brother on. There's a reason behind us doing this. Obviously, everybody knows the reason. But we did a book club last week called The Bloody Shirt. For those of you that's new to the channel and you don't know about our history here in America as freedmen, get this book. And they started this erasure process where it was
Mm,
like they wanted to erase us from the history books, especially as freedmen. And eventually they did that, right? So we just got called Negroes, blacks, and colored folks. So that term freedmen, which was a protected status, we didn't utilize anymore. So they was able to really run roughshod over us. Then what wound up happening is other groups immigrated here to the United States of America, and they then also took on, and there was articles, a 2013 article written on this. Y'all have heard me bring that up. Whereas even the immigrants would come over and they would look down on the American blacks. So then
mm,
there was this erasure process, right? So the first black CEO wasn't a freedman whose ancestors could go back to slavery in this country. It was somebody from Nigeria, but that person was just considered black. So, it meant that was like, no, we fought in the Civil War to free our people from, if we are the reason why the Civil War was won. Our people, when we got in the war, that's when the tide turned. Lincoln acknowledged this. The scholars and historians, the soldiers of those days acknowledged this. So we got to fight this erasure, and I believe that this show is very important. So let me stop talking and let's bring on our guest, Brother DJ Faze. Welcome to Be the Power.
he was saying that it sounded a little scratchy. Oh, he says a little better now. How's it sound now,
Oh
Phase? We
wow!
can't.
Listen, guys, it's so much. It's much better, but it sounds. I couldn't wait to get in because he started saying some stuff that I'm really, really enlightened to talk about. And one thing, can you hear me? Good? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
perfect.
was.
You hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
One thing that I've been talking about and I've been telling my people about is that we're not black.
Mm.
We're not
Facts.
black. We're not black. And the more that we fall into this, being calling each other black, and the more that we talk about it and say that we're black, that's the more that their plan. And when I say they, meaning non-black, more that their plan is going to come through. Okay, so we're
Mm.
not black. So
Mm.
they tell you, oh, black is the essence of this and everything. No, we're not black. If we were black, then the definition what it is. Number one thing is we're really by definition, we're really white, okay? By definition, okay? If we were
We've touched
black,
on that.
we would be dead because
Yeah, we've
I
touched
can't
on
I
that
can't hear
over the
you.
years.
If we were if Okay, there you go. So I would love to be on that discussion
Yeah,
also.
we can definitely get on,
Well, anyway,
get that going one
I'm
day.
DJ Phase.
Right.
Definitely, we definitely want to. I definitely want to go into that. Um, guys, it's a pleasure. Some
Pleasure to
things
have you.
though, I will not be able to speak on because I'm in. Thank you, thank you. I'm in the middle of my book. I'm actually writing a book about hip hop. And
Mhm.
so there's some things that because by my videos, people are taking some of the stuff that I've said in the videos and using it to say it's them that did it, or they were there, or they
Mm.
knew how this was happening. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put it in the book. And then if you take the book now, also, you can go to our earlier videos
Yes.
and when we were talking about 71, everybody else was talking about 73. Everybody was saying 73. Now, after watching our videos, some people are actually saying, oh, yeah, they started in 71. They were doing this in 72. Why after
They
our
change
videos are you saying that now? You know what I'm saying?
changing the
So
stories.
it's really, you know, it's yeah, and I'm going to do a video on that exactly, and I'm going to point by point go and say, okay, look, we said 71, this happened when you had already said 73. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Facts. So now, if you
So
could,
then we'll go back and say, how did you change facts?
right, if you could phase, tell the people, like, break down your history in Bronx, like Bronx. You're from Bronxdale projects. Break down what that was like in terms of growing up, because I kind of want to get us into the origin stages. We're gonna talk about Mario and you know what you guys were doing. I know you're a drummer. We're gonna Let's talk about the martial arts piece, you know, because even that stuff has been preserved. You know, you see even with the Wu Tang, you see they kind of preserved that kind of martial arts aspect of it. And when Nas had his piece to Get Down, you saw to Get Down. You know, they had that in there as well. You know what I mean? So I would like for you, if you could, to kind of break down Bronxdale projects and how important that is, and then maybe go into the Black Spades history and Baby Spades history as well.
Okay, well, wow, where can I start with Bronxdale? Bronxdale of so much, you know, so much starts of something. As you know, Andre Hunt is very, very big. He was just Andre before he even became really, you know, this big success in the music industry, and so he started with, you know, with me playing the drums and everybody being in the carriage room, and we're doing parties in the carriage room. Back like in the 70s, Bronxdale was such a close knit project that no one in the project, it was like unheard of for you to lock your doors. That's
Hmm.
how close knit we were. So it was actually unheard of for you to lock your doors, you know, at night,
Right.
day, anything. And most people would be able to, you know, open the door, knock on the door first, and then come in, and if they were hungry, you know, get something to eat or whatever. And so during the years, uh, people were so used to this close knit that you could have your cousin or something come over, and then they would feel like they're part of Bronxdale. You know, you have a cousin in Queens, you have a cousin in Brooklyn, you have a cousin somewhere else. When they come, they would feel it, because there was a point where um, nobody could really come to Bronxdale unless you were part of Bronxdale, and
Right.
meaning because like I said early, the early 70s is was really just the not the breaking point, but the settling down point of heroin. The
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam people had brought the heroin in, and so all surrounding Bronxdale was deep heavy. If anybody knows that Hunts Point was
Oh
the
yeah.
heroin capital of the world for a minute. Okay, so it had the
Yeah.
heroin and it had prostitutes and it had so
I
it was
remember.
major. Yeah, and so Bronxdale had to protect within that environment, had to protect. So basically, nobody could just come into Bronxdale. We had
Right.
young kids, we had adults, we had grandmothers and stuff like that. So it was basically, and that's basically why the black spades were formed. It was formed for protection. It was formed for for substance to give out to help the community. And so a lot of people, like we were discussing, a lot of people recognize the black spades because of the police
Mm-hmm.
as a violent gang, as the
Right.
news media as a violent gang, when it was totally not that. Now, the reason why it was looked at as violent is because the creators of
Mm-hmm.
it, Guru and David and Peter Williams, they were all martial arts like gurus. That's why Guru's name is Guru, because
Right.
they were totally into martial arts. So there was a point in Bronxdale, and I can remember this, that there was no kid, no male, especially, that didn't know martial arts, didn't know karate. There was a point in Bronxdale that everybody knew karate. And
Mm-hmm.
because we were getting taught by these fifth degree black belts, red belt, everybody was being taught by these. Papa Edwards, God bless
Mm-hmm.
his soul, he was, I think, an eighth degree master black belt. He lived in my building. His son, Cowboy, original Cowboy, he was a third or fourth degree black belt. And so that's in my building, and that's just in my building alone. And
Right.
so, we would of course go into the rec room or the room, and we would that's all we would do is study karate. We would come home from school, study karate in the summertime before we even went outside and played. We would study karate, and that's odd if you think about it. That's odd, especially for these kids. They're
Well,
7, 8, 9 years old studying karate.
we all like
And
growing up,
so
bro. I remember I remember growing up, we all had an affinity for Bruce Lee. Like everybody wanted to be Bruce Lee. You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
I was more into the
right,
I liked Bruce Lee, but I was more into the Channel 5 karate flicks that used to come on, Flying Guillotine, 36 Chambers,
right,
Shaolin. You know what I'm saying? I was more
right,
into that. I loved Bruce Lee, but I thought he was kind of man. He wasn't like them dudes on them Channel 5 karate flicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
came on
yeah. I
that
remember.
right.
Saturday at 3 o'clock. He
Yeah.
wasn't like them dudes.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Bruce Lee actually did a lot of the things, the stunts and stuff that you saw. So a lot of time it wasn't as dramatic as you see somebody they got wires hooked up to them flying through the air. You see what I'm saying?
No
So
doubt,
it
no
didn't
doubt.
look that dramatic to see, because Bruce Lee, he couldn't fly through the air like that with the ropes
Right.
on, or
Uh-huh,
something like that. So
uh-huh.
that's why it looked at like to see these other guys in these suits, and you see the suit flying back like this while they
Mhm,
in the air.
uh-huh.
They come all the way from here, they go all the way here and kick somebody. That
Right.
wasn't really what Bruce Lee did, because Bruce Lee actually did some of the stuff,
Mhm,
and that's what really kind of caught my eye, was to see it actually being done. Some of the stuff that Bruce Lee did, I saw my sensei actually do it. Like one of the things that I mastered was being able, that we saw Bruce Lee on the TV on the screen doing, was take my nose and stand up straight and put it between my knees.
mm.
That takes a lot of stretchability, to do. And I did that. I
You got
mastered,
some video.
all of those things we saw Bruce Lee do. We were basically, our style allowing us to do that. And so, like I said, so it was hard. It was hard for people to come through and just fight us and beat us. It was very hard,
Mm.
because, like I said, we really, really, really into it. So that's why it became like a violent thing, because hey, listen, and this is truth. I saw my sensei and another person fight like 40 guys by themselves and come
Mm.
out. And I saw this with my own eyes, like 40 guys. And I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I'm like really 40 guys and come out of it, just the two of them.
Mhm.
I remember another incident that happened. If everybody knows about there was a Volkswagen place on the corner. Well, it was an AMP, I think. Before it was Volkswagen place, and these Italian guys, and German guys, they owned this Volkswagen place, and they had these two like dogs, big dogs, and matter of fact, they had four dogs, and the Black Spades had a dog called Blackie. And so one day, we they was walking the dog, and one of the dogs got loose, and so Blackie killed it. And so the guy came out, and whoever was holding Blackie, like for them or whatever, jumped him. And, they were kicking him and everything because Blackie killed his dog. And so a couple of days later, uh, one of my senseis went and said, "Hold up, did you beat on this young kid like this and everything?" And they said, "Yeah, that's what they were gonna do or whatever." So he messed them up, get them big. So then after that, this guy came with a bus full of
Mm.
guys to come. And I, to this day, I was a young kid, and I never forget them running to get on the bus. They were running
Mm.
and jumping on the bus. Some of the bus pulled off before some of them got on, so they were hanging on the bus because that's how the beating that they got. So those situations like that happen a lot, in Bronxdale. I remember there's if you know Bronxdale, Bruckner Boulevard is one stop of it, and Watson Avenue is one stop of it. Then White Plains Road is one stop of it, and then Soundview is one stop of it. If you were to go over White Plains Road, that was nothing but Caucasian people, nothing.
Mhm.
Like, you weren't going to find a house that had brown people in it. And So what they used to do is our school was actually in that section, in that Caucasian section, and so they would chase us, beat us, try to do whatever. They wouldn't beat me. They tried, but they wasn't getting me. But still, if there was so many of them, we had to run. But as soon as we got over the side of White Plains Road, they stop in their
It
tracks.
was
I don't care
stop.
how
Yeah.
many of it was. They're stopping their tracks because that's how Bronxdale had it locked in. You know, people, and which I have to understand now. They say that because of the gatherings and stuff, that's what hip hop is influenced by. And when I say hip hop, meaning the culture, not just necessarily meaning the breaks or
Rapping.
the rapping. No, the culture of it. And so
Exactly.
that's why on the videos, I guess it's kind of complicated for people outside of that to understand when we say what hip hop is.
Mm-hmm.
Because hip hop is not just the elements that they say that they are, which is MCing, break dancing, and
Turntabling.
graffiti, and yeah, that's right. So it's a little bit more of that. Me and Michael Wayne came up with it, that snapping, which
Yeah.
people don't
Yeah. Yeah.
understand, that's the basis of what the MCing was.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we started
The
out. We
battling.
started out right. We started out by snapping on somebody, and
Yes.
saying it on the mic and saying it to the music or whatever. And
Yeah.
so people don't understand that that's one of the biggest elements of hip hop,
Facts.
because we were taught. Now it's funny that when we were snapping as youngers, whatever, and we were snapping on the big kids, that's how it started. Basically, what we were doing was we had the speaker in the window, and we were in our apartment, and the kids were downstairs or whatever. So we could snap on them as long as we in our house, but we couldn't snap on them while we were downstairs with them because they would, try to beat us up or whatever. So that's basically how it started. We were snapping on these kids, and that's happened. Now, another thing I'm going to bring to existence, and I'm going to tell you, and as far as I know, is how it started. We were maybe, I say 7, 8 years old, and we went to a friend of ours party upstairs, and of course we couldn't have this party by ourselves, so we had to have
Mm-hmm.
grown-ups there. So what we were getting into this little session where we were snapping on people. We were just snapping, and we would snap so good. Sometimes they cry, sometimes they just walk away, sometimes they want to fight you. It doesn't matter. We was really snapping on you. So we were snapping on it, and so one of the guys said something about a girl, and her mother said, "Why don't y'all stop that? We always talking about somebody. You always doing this or whatever, whatever. Y'all, what it said." And so we were like, we're gonna get in trouble. So what we were doing was, if the guy had peasy hair or whatever, we'll go like this, and then we'll go like that at the person. And
Mm-hmm.
then the next day we said snap it. And then, like I
Wow.
said, even from then, and God rest the dead, Biz Marquis was the one of the persons that acknowledged that, he knew that it came from Bronxdale and from where it started, and and
Wow.
and, and,
So
Biz Marquis, that was one of my best friends, man. And so it really shows me a lot about how Bronxdale was the first for a lot of things.
so let me
Dressing styles,
yeah, yeah.
just so much. And
Let me
so,
let me ask you before you get into the dressing, right? Because I know, I mean, that's something that you definitely covered in I know even myself from my cousin Ice that lived in shout out to my cousin Ice, was just on with him yesterday, lived in Edenwall. A lot of the fashion that was coming up out of the Bronx, he put us on to it because he was on that, you know what I'm saying? And so when he came to Harlem, he was dressed a certain kind of way, and we was like, yo, that's fly, like, yo, what, you know. And it's so crazy because one of the things you touch on is the fact that the gear actually came from Harlem.
From
Like,
Harlem,
so, like, I knew that the British Walker store was on 125th, all
125th Street,
them
AJ
years, and
Lester,
AJ Lester's, all of that.
125th Street.
Yeah. So
Right,
go into that. Go into that.
right. All that. It's to me. I think the reason why people don't understand that aspect of it is because we were fortunate, number one, to have Pathmark, which was a
Hmm.
grocery store that people would come from all over, because this was basically a store that we could actually shop at. You know, our people could actually shop at, and because the other stores, ShopRite or A&P, those were basically for Caucasian people. So Pathmark was our store. So at young ages, we would go, we would pack bags, we would do, because we were right there. So you couldn't be in Monroe, which is right in the across the bridge. You couldn't be from Monroe and come and pack bags in Pathmark. You couldn't be from Bronx River and come pack back. This was only for Bronxdale people that could do it. So at young ages, we were making $30 a day. Now imagine
That's a lot
in
for
the
back then.
70s what
Yeah.
30 parents weren't getting $30 a day. Parents. But if you're there from 7 o'clock in the morning till maybe 3 o'clock, or just like in the summertime, school time, and each bag that you take to the car, the least you're going to get is maybe 25 cents, the least. Some people would give you $1. Some people got their check, they give you the whole $2 or whatever, just to bring their car. So imagine getting this thing, and by the time you realize it, you got $30 in your pocket. And now this
Hmm.
is every single day. So
Right. Right. Right.
imagine parents don't even get 30. You got to do something with that money. You got
Right.
to do something with that money. So of course, at a young age, and
Y'all
I don't
going
know,
down to
what it is. Yeah, with my little crew, but all we wanted was girls. That's all we
125th. Yeah.
wanted was to
Look, look,
impress
look,
girls.
look. Lenny
You
said the
know,
clock wallabies, the
yeah,
wallabies.
so we would now, and that's so funny that you say about the Clarks. We had desert boots that were Clarks in the
Hmm.
70s.
Hmm.
And it wasn't about the Jamaicans with these Clarks or whatever. We had and they were called desert boots.
Hmm.
And so we would go to these places and get it. Like this is one jewel that I'm gonna say, from Harlem. AJ Lester was
AJ
the
Lester.
first one that I ever knew that had champagne cologne. And
Mm.
I mean, my father owned a bar, a very famous bar in Harlem, and everybody used to go to my father's bar. Like,
What was the name of the bar?
I don't want to reveal that
You don't
right
want to
now.
say it?
I'll wait for the book
All right, all
to
right.
reveal that. But it was a very, very big bar,
As
and
long as long as it wasn't Andre's, then we good.
that wasn't all. It wasn't our case. And actually, what it was that uh that's how I basically got the equipment to to actually do the stuff that I do, because my father we had did the bar. They tried to close the bar down for so long, but I mean, I remember going in the bar and seeing, as a little kid, seeing Sidney Poitier, Lena Horne, Red Fox, all the drug dealers and everything in this bar. And so when he redid his bar, they was getting so much money that they redid the bar. He just gave me all the equipment, just said, hey, because I was always messing with the equipment anyway, and so I had it. So back to the story with the clothes, just like what I said about the champagne cologne. People today don't know what champagne cologne is. Now imagine a kid having this cologne 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, 11
Right.
years old. So
Yeah.
people don't understand that. They're like, no, ain't no kid gonna be having this, ain't no kid gonna be having that. But they don't understand that these kids was making $30 a day, and parents weren't making $30 a day. You see what I'm saying? Their
Right.
paycheck was not $30 a day. In 3 days, that's $90 in 3 days.
Right.
You understand that?
For the
And so
70s,
back
for
in
the
the
early 70s.
70s, $10 was a lot of money. People were, at the end of the week, some people were getting $60
Right.
for 40 hours of work. You
Right.
understand? So for a kid to have this tax-free money and doing stuff, it's very, very hard to believe. So
Right.
yes, we had
So you had the British Walkers, you had
we had
Playboys,
Rip.
you had
So
the
let's start with
overlaps.
the Rip. We
Yeah.
had Marshmallows, we had Espadrilles, we had AJs, we had Gabardines, we had Shark Skins, we had Quarterfields, we had leather Quarterfields, we had sheepskins back in the 70s
Sheepskin.
before they became
Yeah.
sheepskins. We had the Stetson hats and all that stuff way before that. So when we PR Kardashian, if you look at Michael Wayne's always doing it, he's going and getting some pictures of me back in the early days, and I have on a PR Cardin blazer. I have on a AJ Lester mock neck, AJ Lester
Hmm.
AJs, and a British Walkers from 125th Street. And so
Hmm.
now this is my thing. You can always tell the real from what they're dressing back. My opinion. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
the real people, that I call the real people, were the people that had the British Walkers. The
Right.
people that came after that are the people that had British Knights. All
Yeah,
right.
I remember those. I remember those.
Okay, so they had the British Knights. So after just like with AJ Lester had the mock necks, and I don't care what nobody say first, right? Once it
Hmm.
got popular, once people knew it, then they had to, of course, Jew Man came around. Once Jew Man
Right.
came around, they was making them themselves, whatever. So that was the second stage of it. So just like with this hip hop, there's so many stages of it that it's like, well, if you wasn't at the first stage, then you can't understand why it's like that. You can't understand
Right.
that the reason why it's done like that is because we already done went through this first stage. And so just like what I was saying with the other godfather of hip hop, that was a
Hmm.
second stage. If they were already
Right.
breakdancing when that happened or whatever, that was the second stage of it. So I just want to, give those first stage people their honor, their props, because without them, there would
So
be
let me do this. Facts. Let me do this. Let me read a little bit from this wiki page about one of your friends you knew personally, Disco King Mario. Says Disco King Mario was a pioneer of hip hop in the 1970s. Mario was a prominent DJ of the New York Bronx. At the time, he lived in the Bronxdale housing projects where his parties made him well known locally. In the 70s, hip hop was first being pioneered. In the Bronx at block parties, it was the DJs that were the primary artists, with the rappers being secondary. Mario put on many early shows in the Rosedale Park, called the Big Park in the Bronx. At this time, Mario, with his crew known as the Chuck Chuck City, played largely up-tempo disco music. Mario's earlier sound system had been pieced together over years. Influenced by Cool DJ D and Tyrone the mixologist, he upgraded his sound system. He was known for the quality of his sound system. And then it says Mario and fellow hip hop pioneer Bambaataa were both members of the Black Spades gang. The territory they controlled included the South, most of the Southeast Bronx. DJs had to either get their permission before they could had to get their permission before they could safely DJ publicly. So if you could, I mean, I don't know how accurate all this is. Again, this is wiki. I don't know how accurate that is, but you are contemporary. You were there. Can you break down for the people the importance of DJ Mario and what he contributed to the foundation of hip hop from your personal experience?
Well, I can definitely do that, but I want to start off by saying that that information that you got was based on some of the stuff that they hear in our videos.
Got it.
That's
Understood.
one
I
thing
believe it.
that you gotta know that if you will not have heard that prior before our videos, you will not hear
Facts.
much. Okay. Um, a lot of it is basically what I guess you just really can't even fathom how that is as far as Disco King Mario. If they were accurate, they would have said DJ Mario,
Right.
because see, the Chuck Chuck City crew, all that came later. Disco King Mario came later. And so that's what is one of the worst things that I've experienced too. Disco came after hip hop. People think that disco came before hip hop. Disco
Mm,
came after hip hop.
Wow.
Okay,
that's something.
hip hop came with the funk.
Facts.
Hip hop came
Facts.
with the funk. The funk. We were playing James Brown.
That's
That's
right.
my idol, James Brown. And James Brown was not playing no disco.
That's
Mm.
right.
Okay, so
I got soul.
if we rocking James Brown, I got soul, big, all of that stuff came before disco.
Yo, you know what?
Okay,
You are
so
so right, man. But God damn, that didn't click until you just said that. Hip hop came
all
before
right, so
disco. That's an
how could
actual fact.
disco influence hip hop if that's what we was doing? And so that's a big misconception that was told. And I'm gonna tell you, this is another thing that I gotta tell you guys, and I'm gonna bless you guys and tell you this because I was gonna put this in the book too. The reason why hip hop is in the state it's in, and the reason why hip hop story is told because people that went to report the what was happening, the project, whatever, they were not gonna go straight to the gangster. They were not going to go to the meat of to the meat of it. They were going to go to the next step. Okay, but Bronxdale was gully, was gutter, was whatever. The people that they got the story from lived in a high-rise building, a moving on up building.
Mm,
Those were the
mm,
kind of things that they had. There was some people like that in our projects. The kids were taking care of families. The people that they got the thing from, the story from, these people, their parents had everything. That's how they even got equipment. We didn't, our parents didn't buy us no equipment. We bought us ourselves. We did it ourselves. So we weren't spoiled, rotten kids. We were out there working just like the other people. So the people that were actually given the story were what I call those people that's wearing those British Nikes. They didn't come to the British Walker people. Because they were scared. And that's all I can say. It was
Yo,
scared to
yo,
come to the
Face.
British Walker.
You gotta go. You get the British Knights from 116th Street. They sold those down there. They sold those down there.
Oh, it's Harlem. That's Harlem. That's Harlem to that. That's
Hey,
Harlem.
let me let everybody
They
know,
don't
man.
know.
It's so funny. Real quick, we have our little battles on here. We got our Chicago family, so we have our little Chicago, New York battle, little rivalry going on. But right now, you got a Queens dude on with some Harlem and the Bronx cats. And if y'all don't know the early origin stories of hip hop about Queens, and I remember being a shorty because I was an MC, one of the hardest dudes in Far Rockaway, hands down. And anybody from the era will let you know that. I remember being 12, 13, wanting to jump into the be down with the Juice Crew so I could go at BTP and Red Alert, jump on with Marley Marl, like, yo, Marley, what up? Like, I used to envision myself being in the Juice Crew, spitting with Kane and G-Rap and all of them. So it's like little battles within battles, but this is our history right here. This is competition. When you look at the unspoken element of hip hop that Phase opened up with, which is the karate element. One of the things you watch in the kung fu movies is that when the two masters meet, I mean, it's like we gotta test our skill. We can't just walk by each other. One of my favorite karate flicks, which people might laugh at, but I love it, was the movie with the Axe Gang. What's the name of that joint? Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle, right? So, right when they break the dude out of jail, the killer, he goes to the couple, and the killer was like, I ain't really care about them people that I'm with. He said, I either want to kill you or be killed by you, and that was MCing back in the days.
Right, exactly, right. Because just that battle alone, that's your name.
That's right.
Okay, that battle alone. Right. So if you stepped against a master, then that's your name. You step against a master. You see it? And that's the same thing. So just like with anything, when you go to battle, that's why, and this is, and even Biz Markie, God bless his soul, he taught me this a lot because I used to be like, you want to battle me? Oh, yeah, I'm going to rock you. But then Biz Markie showed, no, don't, because he's not at his level. You're going to go down the level to get to him. You got to go down. You don't want to do that. You battle somebody that you think might be better than you, might be above you. You see what I'm saying? So that's another. He would have battled me if he had lost, and he would have got a name because he battled me. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're talking about as far as the competition and going to battle that, so that, it's a lot. But like I said, we were so young, we didn't realize what was going on because, this is one of my favorite things that I know for a fact. That one of these supposed to be persons of hip hop came over to Rosedale Park, and they allowed him to DJ, and we went to go get on because it was his set, and we went to go get on, and so I had one record. And he had another record, and he said, I had two of all the other records, but this one record. And so I got on there and everything. The people was dancing and everything. I'm doing my little scratch and everything. He said, He says, you're not going to scratch my record. What do you mean? You know, because that wasn't the hip thing to do at that time. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't known to scratch a record. And he thought, oh, well, all you're gonna do is scratch up my record. It wasn't no. But as soon as people started saying that, then it's yeah, you know, one of his DJs started scratching records and stuff like that. So that just goes to show you, people were so against what we were doing until it did what it did, and now they ride in the wagon. They didn't say anything
You
yet.
know what?
That particular party, think about. Let me
Yeah,
just say one thing about particular party that was supposed to start this hip hop whole thing, right?
mm,
Number one, it's a room. How could millions of people fit into this little center? That's number one. Out of all the people that know this party was happening, how come there's only one flyer in existence?
mm.
This one flyer is the flyer that got around the whole everywhere. This one flyer. How did it just get? How did it just that one flyer? This was such a big party. This was such a big thing. This was such a start of hip hop. This was so. How did one flyer get out of it?
And,
I could go
and
back in my drawer and I could get flyers from different written up stuff like that, you know, and from parties from Queens. Okay,
right.
I could get party from you know, but this particular great grand start of hip hop party, there's only one flyer. You see the same flyer no matter what, no matter on any internet, anything. This one same flyer was there. And millions of people were at this party where the center, the room, if you
Yeah, them
got
rooms
50
wasn't that
people
big.
in that room, y'all was like being the
You was
sausages.
crowded. And
Y'all
bro,
was
let me
like
tell
being the
you,
sausages.
man,
And everybody says they was there. All the
that's big.
pioneers, everybody says they
Everybody
were
was there.
at this party.
Let me tell you, and you know, the way New York City housing projects are constructed, you know, generally all projects have those kinds of those kinds of rooms at the bottom of one of the buildings or a couple of the buildings. My project, Manhattanville, we had a room like that right downstairs, which was underneath my building, which was the center for the whole projects. And so I actually had a friend, and I'm not saying this is where you're talking about, but I had a friend who lived in that same building on Sedgwick Avenue. And so I know that that's not a big place. I've been in that building, so I already know.
It's a carriage room. You know what the carriage room is for?
Yeah.
Now that
What's
you
that?
speak on it, the carriage room is for just that. You remember those big carriages that the mothers couldn't drag all the way
Oh yeah.
upstairs? They were supposed to put
Wow.
that in the carriage room, and then the big bicycles that couldn't fit in the apartment, you're
Wow.
supposed to put it inside the carriage room. Those things that whatever, and that's all it was. It
Wow.
was a storage room. It was a storage room. So now
Big storage
this
room.
this this
Crazy.
this this room that they had millions of people dancing and breakdancing and DJing and all that in this room. And that's where hip hop started. And
That's
then
Man, I
they
funny.
get
can't wait
mad.
for your book to come out, brother.
They get so mad when I say stuff like that and I expose stuff like that, you know. But I mean, you know, to me, I would never say anything. I haven't said nothing for years, but I cannot sit back and watch somebody that I know started it. I know did it. I know that these people were coming and watching us. Listen, on July 31st, this summer, I did a tribute to Disco King Mario.
Hmm.
Everybody, first of all, the park where I did it is exactly where Disco King Mario did it. I was a baby a young baby when he first did the party there. So I for years nobody could do it because there was another individual that was doing parties there and they stopped it, so he couldn't do it. So finally I got the okay to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody that came said they could not believe, number one, that I pulled it off. There was no
Hmm.
violence. The black space locked it down. There was nobody even argued or whatever. And I did this, and people came from all over, and they were saying that's a tribute to Disco King Mario. And so
Facts.
that
Facts.
made me say, listen, yo, people really want the truth. So why give them lies? Why give them lies?
Yeah.
If
That's a
the
great
truth
Well,
is
segue
going,
right there.
let's
That's a
let's talk
great
about it. And
that's
let
a
me say
great
this,
segue.
Phase. It is a great segue. Why give them lies? Let me just say this. This is what I've always thought about hip hop culture. I always described it, and Naheem could tell you, I've always described it as a 1970s subculture of black youth from the Bronx and then Harlem, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because a few of the early MCs come from Harlem, like Spoonie G, who was, became active somewhere around 1975. You had Treacherous 3 with Kumo D, LA Sunshine, Special K. They started, I think, somewhere around 78. Then on the east side in the Lincoln projects, we had the Crash Crew. They started somewhere around 77, and then at the same time in the Bronx, you had this, the Furious Five, the Funky 4+1, the Grand Wizard Theater and the Fantastic Five, right? All this stuff going on at the same time. So for me, as a real little kid, seeing this happen, it to me it always felt like a black subculture of the Bronx and Manhattan secondary. You know what I'm saying? What do you say about that? And then let's talk about after that whether or not this thing comes from Jamaicans.
oh, okay. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to do that because I'm gonna. You know how I get. I will go in, and I don't want to go in whatever about
Get
the
the people a
Jamaican
little
culture
bit.
of it. But okay,
You can get the people a
so
little bit, just a little bit.
I'll try to hold back a little bit as much as I can. Yeah, I could actually say Bronx and Harlem, but the names that you named, the names that you named were coming to the Bronx on a regular. Like they were coming to the Bronx on a regular. Even Queens, Russell Simmons' brother, not Russell Simmons' brother was always in the
Older brother.
Bronx. Always
Yeah.
in the Bronx in the early 70s. Russ, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's another good reason how it got to the Queen. There's another good reason how how it got to Harlem from coming from the Bronx because they were there. So remember, the places that became Harlem spots or whatever, the Celebrity Club, what's the one on 116 Harlem World, and all of those
Harlem World. Yep.
places were because they came to think now. So the reason why the Bronx didn't have those things yet is because you remember the first wave, nobody wanted hip hop. So you couldn't
Right.
go into a club and play hip hop. You couldn't
But
do
y'all had the
that. We
T
had to be in
connection,
the street.
right? Y'all had the T
That's
connection
that's
and
that's the second wave. The T
okay, okay.
connection is the second wave. It had already got into or whatever, and the T connection, which I know the Mr. T really good. That was a place where music was being played and a younger crowd could come. You
Mm,
see what I'm saying?
hmm.
It wasn't really based on the older crowds because in the Bronx in those days, they were really after hour spots. Okay, so that's what it was.
Right.
The
Yeah.
371 Club and all of those were after hour spots, meaning that after you go to Manhattan or wherever, Queens, Brooklyn, or whatever, to the club and everything, you come back to the Bronx and you do whatever for the rest of the night until the next morning. So that's what
Right.
that was. So the Bronx didn't really have those clubs because on the first wave. Now, by the time the second wave came, is a lot of reasons why a lot of things happened too was in the second wave. That's when the crack era came. So a
Right.
lot of the people that were actually, doing these things, making these things happen, fell victim to crack or
Yeah.
cocaine base,
Yeah.
what you want to call it. So
Nice.
that was a perfect opportunity for somebody to come sneak in, just come and sneak in and take away those lades that was being built already. So
Mm-hmm.
once that crack era came, it kind of wiped out a lot of things because one of my favorite stories that happened to me was that this I was being a bad kid. I was doing bad kid when the crack era came, and this one guy, he was a big guy. He was a big guy. He had Mercedes Benz and all that, all the women and everything. He had like four Mercedes Benz, and
Mm.
this one girl gave him the crack. And
Mm-hmm.
so he was buying from me. So I'm thinking, this is right. I got this customer, I'm doing it, whatever. So first he came in one Benz and he smoked, 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 smoked. The next day he came in the other Benz, smoke, 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 smoke. 2 days later, he came in a third Benz, smoke, 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 smoke. And next, about a week later, he came in the fourth Benz, smoke, 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 smoke. And then the last time he came, he was walking. So what does
Right.
that tell you? Tells you, you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
He's
that
so.
that
Yeah.
man was on top of the world on as far as the hood is concerned. Let that pipe take him out, take his bins and everything. So that's exactly what basically happened with hip hop. Those top people, a lot of them died. A lot of them
Mm.
got put in jail because, see, I know this is another topic, but anytime someone is doing something that is making a thing, they either want to
Yeah.
take it away from you or
Yes.
just stop it completely.
That's a
Okay,
fact.
and so that's what basically happened. That's what basically happened. There was some people that was doing something so good and so big, because look how big it is now, and they said we got to stop
Mm-hmm.
them, we got to take it away from them,
Yes.
and that's what happened.
That's.
So those
Hey,
people
man. That's
that it took it from, they go to the side.
that's pretty much one of the main things we've been talking about on this platform is the erasure of our people and our legacy in this country in terms of the things that we've contributed to this country. And a lot of it happens by way of um, what we call aggregated blackness, right? Where they don't necessarily uh, give you data based upon people's ethnic backgrounds. It's just black people this or black people that. And the problem with that is that when it comes down to preserving the history of which particular group did what, it's hard. Now it becomes a, well, we all did this and we all did that. And so I believe that that's a part of what's going on in terms of, how people are able to come in and say that dance hall somehow is the origin of hip hop. So I wanted to read this to you real quick. Naheem, if you could share this real quick. It's the NPR article, and it's speaking on um a Jamaican artist by the name of U-Roy, who I believe passed away. Um, and the company that he worked for did some kind of celebration on his behalf, right? And let me just read this real quick because this is going into exactly what we're talking about. In 2019, at the 10th anniversary of their Rewind series of live events in New York, promoter Garfield Chin Bourne, CEO of Irish and Chin Promotions, recruited Shaba, talking about Shaba Ranks, to crown U-Roy, a gesture that brought tears to the elder artist's eyes. So I guess he hadn't passed away, but I think he did pass away. We brought in Shaba to show a younger generation, unless they're talking about Shaba, I don't know, to show a younger generation that might not know that this is who Shaba gives all credit to for his existence, Chin tells NPR. U-Roy did not originate DJing, but he became the best at it. His voice was so electrifying that other DJs that followed wanted to be as melodious as he was and make those smooth rhymes like he did. Now listen to this. U-Roy, U-Roy's flow also laid some of the groundwork for what became rap in the United States. Most of the early hip hop artists had Caribbean roots and were directly influenced by Jamaica's dancehall space, Chin says, citing the cadence heard in Sugar Hill Gang's prototypical hit, Rapper's Delight, as directly descended from that smooth lyrical flow that U-Roy perfected. He is the godfather of dancehall and hip hop too. U-Roy. U-Roy. You see what I'm saying? And so this
That's
is the
not fair.
kind of
That's not fair. That's not fair. That you
it's
could read something like that to DJ Phase. Like that's not fair. That's just that not fair. I have
that's
to
right.
cut you off and I have to let you know this. I have to let you know this. You go back to the earliest recording of a Jamaican record, the earliest. I don't care how far you go back. That record is a cover from a USA record.
Facts.
I don't care how far you go back. That's a cover for a USA record. So,
That's facts.
that being said, how could they? You know, we did this on the video the other day. This is how, what we did. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know how old you guys are or whatever, but if you remember, but when my generation realized what Jamaican people were, that was one of the best snaps that we could ever do. That was the best
Come
snaps that
on,
we
bro.
ever could do. Like that, those was that's where you, the flood is over, the land is dry. Why you wear your pants so high? Okay, for high water.
Ah,
The high
Okay,
waters, the high waters
right.
come
hot
into
Okay,
waters.
play.
all
Yeah.
right. And so that's where these things. So now, if they were so busy trying to fit in our culture by wearing the stuff that we did, how could they have created it? Just tell me how they could have did it. If they are so emulating what we did, and see, that's what I said, and I said it for the beginning. The British walkers is what we
Yep.
wore. You see
Facts.
them with the British Nikes. All right. Why? Why don't they got the British walkers? Why? Because they trying to be like us. So how
Right.
could they? Why would they try to be like us if they invented it? Just tell me that.
Right.
If they invented it,
Facts.
why would they try to be like us? If you look at the guy that I was talking about earlier, right? Disco King
Mm-hmm.
Mario, we have the picture. We have the
Mm-hmm.
picture of when Disco King Mario got the sheepskin, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
Mario
I saw that.
came up. He came up here from the South wearing a hat because we used to snap on Mario. Mario used to have some white patent leather sneaker shoes, and we used to be like, "Yo, we anytime we would you get anything, or we'll do the little dance, or whatever, to snap on Mario." You know what I'm saying? And he did it. He said, you're not gonna snap on us. You're not gonna snap on me. And so he adapted to our way, how our culture was, or whatever. So the person that I'm talking about went and got a sheepskin, went and got the brim hat, and now, just like I said before, they took that information and made it their own. And that's what happened. Okay, so that's when you get those stories like that, is because they got the information and turn it on to themselves. Simple as that. We were when like I said, when I brought up the James Brown thing, come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean,
that's the only reason we buy the record, because they had that breakdown song, that breakdown on it. Boom, that, boom, that, boom, that, boom, that. Okay, once that, I'm a drummer, so that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted was that stutter beat, And so once you hear that, woo, you do your stuff and bang, 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 and that's it. So how can a person that don't have, show me, go back in the line. I'm a record collector. I got a house. This is no lie. Ask anybody. A house, 3-story house that has nothing but crates of records. Nothing, no furniture, no refrigerator, no nothing. Full of records. Okay, so you name a Jamaican record back in those days, they got boom,
that's right. Talk to him, bro. Talk to him.
Yo, what they had was Bob Marley. Bob Marley came in the mid-70s, somewhere around the mid-70s, and that wasn't what that was. But now peep this, right? Look at Pete Rock, right? This is coming from Pete Rock, who calls himself the Soul Brother, like James Brown. But he says if hip hop didn't come from Jamaica, then tell me why so many Jamaicans in hip hop. Y'all think we here for nothing? Rise clock.
Okay. This is, I hate to say it. See, I knew y'all was going to get me started. But listen to this. And this is facts. This is real facts. Remember when I was telling you about the private house person and the project person?
Yep.
Okay. The project person is the one that got to go by any means to find the raunchiest stuff. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you gotta forget it or whatever. The private house person is there. Their means it's there. So that being said, where's the fight? I was so mad. God bless his soul. I love him like cooked food. But I'm gonna put this in the book too. There's this thing called Ultimate Break Beats, right? Now, the reason Ultimate Break Beats came was because a drummer, was saying that I was record collecting one day, and Lenny Robinson, which is the creator of this Ultimate Break Beats, he said to me, he was an older man, he was a jazz record collector. And he said he always saw me coming in, and I grabbed my stack of records and I'm going. And the owners of the record store, he knew me so well and everything. So he asked me one day, he said, you know, why are you buying these certain records? You know, because I buy all kinds of records, you know, not just James Brown or something. I buy all kinds of records because they had this little break in it. So he says, why are you buying these records and everything? And I said, well, because it got this drum break in it. I'm young. I said, it got this drum break in it. And he says, oh. And I said, do you know any records that got drum break? He says, yeah, there's a couple records that I know. And I said, okay. So he said, well, listen, if you find a record here that has that, I'll buy one for you and I'll buy one for me. And I never really understood what he was doing. God bless his soul. Next thing I know, Ultimate Breakbeats got these records that I already done hustled all over, looking all over for on this one collection that the second people could just go to the store and get that. Now, mind you, this is no lie. I used to play hooky from school, run out the door, 47, and go to Brooklyn, go to Queens, in Queens, and Merrick Boulevard back in the 70s. There was Merrick Boulevard, and I think it was 220-something Street. No, Foch Boulevard. You know where Foch Boulevard is in Queens?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There was a record store there. It wasn't even a real record store. It was they sold all kinds of stuff in there. And I used to go from the Bronx, get on the train, and go get the records in that store. I used to go to Manhattan. I used to go down in the Village. I used to go all Jersey to get these records. Now I got these records, and now somebody puts these records on one record and sell it to the people that couldn't do that. So that's why it made me very, 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 very upset. And so that's the same thing.
I gotta thank you, bro, because I got them I got them Ultimate Breakbeats.
You got the Ultimate Breakbeats. I call you a cheater. Cheater, you're a cheater.
Hey,
you're a cheater.
Hey, man. I got it with the Impeach the President. We got Impeach the President. We got Funky Drummer. We got all that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know how I found Impeach the President?
How you found it?
You found it? I was in D.C. and doing the same thing. I was in D.C. and I was talking to this guy in the record store. And he says, well, I know this band, and they one of their records has that drum part. And I said, no. He said, yeah, I know the band. So I said, well, how can I get the record? He said, listen, just stay here. And he walked to wherever he went, and he got me that on a white label. It was a promotional use only. And I seen it. I was like, yes, I got it. I ran to the Bronx, put it on. Oh man, it was just so good. So now the album was and have another one. I only had that one copy of it. Sure enough, I go try to get another copy. That man put it on Algo, whatever the yellow copy thing was. And that's Impeach the President. So that's just one of the stories. That's just one of the stories that happens to how it gets out, like the way that it gets out. Cold Sweat. One of the things that you'll find out and see in my book that Sugarfoot from the Ohio Players was one of my first cousins. And so in Ohio, people don't understand. In Ohio, so many of the funk people come from Ohio.
Yeah.
And
so Roger.
Right. And so Sugarfoot told me, I told Sugar that I love James Brown. So we were going on vacation down there in Ohio. And one day in the morning, my mom's and my dad knew what was going on, but he said, come on, you gonna come with me? You gonna come with me today? And I was like, I don't know. I want to ride my mini bike. I don't want to go. And he said, no, you gonna come with me. We went to this place, this studio, and guess who was in there? James Brown. and
Wow.
he gave me
Wow.
the cold sweat, and I still
That's
got it till
crazy.
today. I promise you, if you ever come around, whatever, I'll show it to you. He signed it and everything, and it's
Nice.
cold sweat. So now when I brought that back to New York, like I said, only had one. So that's what I was doing. I went in my room and I was playing it on the drums. And my cousin was had the record player, and he'll play just that part. And then he'll stop it, and then I'll play it on the drums. He'll pick it up and put it on that part. One continuous thing. But it wasn't that. It was he was picking it on the record player, because remember the record players, you once it finished, it go back. The needle
That's
come
right.
back to the
That's
thing,
right.
That's
and you
right.
had
That's
to
right.
do a thing. That's what a record player is. And so this is I wait for the book, but this is why another reason why I say people just don't understand what it took to be a hip hop DJ. We were, and you know, now y'all got me started. But if the person that started this stuff right now, why they not out there showing the stuff that they did back
That's
then,
right.
showing that,
That's
showing the
right.
planet
That's
that
right.
you see DJ Phase out here, I'm DJing anywhere, and I'll show you my first beats. I'll show you all of that stuff. I'll show you the first cut. I'll show you everything because I did it. I was there. I did it. So when that person shows me you go and then whatever, because that person done been to my house.
Mm.
That person done been to my house and you say right in their face. Now, do you bring them right to my face and say, "Yo, you wasn't in my house looking at this records? You wasn't, you wasn't
Mm.
in there?" All right, they cannot say no. They cannot. Okay, so you show me that, and then I'll be like, okay, I back off. But that's not happening. The only people I
Hey,
see,
Faith,
I'm good. Yeah,
we gotta try to get Jazzy J on, man. Cause I
Jazzy ain't
want
gonna
Jay to,
come.
he ain't gonna come.
Jay ain't gonna come, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because
He
Jay's
two in the
at
middle.
a point where Jay is at a point where, and I see it. He's like, you know what? If you want to claim this or whatever, and you know it's lies, just go ahead. Just leave me out of it. Just leave me out of it. You want to say all of this crap? Go ahead. Just leave me out of it. And
Hey,
that's the way it's got,
Jay know
because
what time
so
it
many
is, man.
people so many people have shitted on him. So many people have
Mm.
shitted on him. It's amazing. The thing that I was saying about on the July 31st. You know how many people shitted on me? Like they shitted, but then as soon as they saw there was a success like that, oh yo, when you doing the next thing, I want to do it with you. I want to da 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 da.
Mm.
You wasn't there. One of our favorite lines is, "You wasn't there when I was riding the bus." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now you want to be here. I got my Benz, and you want to give me a Benz? Nah, yo, chill. Take that bus, like you whatever you've been doing or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. So Jay is like that. Jay is like, yo, man, these cats, because like I said, yo, Jazzy J is Def Jam. I don't care what nobody
I know
say.
that. I know that. I know that. I know that.
Jazzy is Def Jam. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Jazzy J. But where's his name?
That's
Where's
right.
Jazzy J's name
That's
of
right.
Def Jam?
That's
Where is
right.
it? You know what I'm saying? Jazzy J. And I don't care. Everybody can get mad all they want. Jazzy J was the original cut creator. All right, the original. When you
Yeah.
say
Mm.
it's a cut creator, that's Jazzy
Yeah.
J. That's
Yo,
Jazzy J.
Jay was
When it says
nice.
cut creator, that's Jazzy J. That's who it was. It wasn't no dude from there, whatever. Nah, it was Jazzy J on those cuts. I remember the
Yo,
drum machine.
your
I remember
face.
when I Need a Beat was made. I remember I was there. I was
Hey,
there. I
remember
seen it.
remember when Jay used to cut Spoonie G's beat? Um the love rap. Remember when Jay used to cut the love rap and he used to make the beat do a whole other beat? Boom, boom, back, boom, 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 back, boom, boom. Come on, man.
Y'all listening to family, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. Y'all are listening to hip hop history right here, the real history being told on Be the Power. We got the legendary DJ Phase, one of hip hop's day ones in the building. Make sure y'all share this video out. Make sure y'all spread the word. We got to reclaim what's ours. Let me say real quick before we move on, this is not no shots at Jamaicans or Jamaican culture or any culture, right? Even if there was a debate about Queens, right? Hip hop starting in Queens and all of that. And then with Flowers in Brooklyn. And that got put to rest because the people from the Bronx, the day ones, like brothers like DJ Phase, Green Eye Mario, et cetera, they were there. And I watched this one documentary. I can't remember the brother's name. And he was, let me just share this story real quick. He was breaking down how in the Bronx, they was playing Apache. And in Brooklyn and Queens, they was playing Love Is the Message. Now, Love Is the Message is one of my favorite I love Apache. Don't get me wrong.
I love Love Is the Message.
But
too.
Love Is the Message is one of my favorite all time. Like I still get it's just
it makes you want to dance.
It makes you want to dance, man, right? So, and I remember that's what my mother played in the crib, Love Is the Message. My mother wasn't playing Apache. So when the brother was going in, I was like, damn, this dude is right. We never really played Apache in the crib when we was in was born in Brooklyn. I moved to Far Rockaway when I was 6 years old. So we didn't really play none of that. But Love Is the Message and certain other jams that the Brooklyn DJs were spinning is what we listen to. You know,
like,
so
oh, can I please
just
I just gotta interject. And you made a valid point, what you don't even realize that you made. And I'm gonna tell you why. What you said made so much sense, and I'm going to tell you why it made so much sense, what you said. Love Is the Message was made, I think, in 72, 73, or maybe 74. Don't get me wrong.
I think it's 72 or 73.
72 or 73, right? Now,
so somebody said 74. Somebody brought it up.
Okay, 74. Okay. That record was not made for us. It wasn't made for the young kids. Your parents was listening to that because your parents was in the club. Your parents was the ones that was listening to Love Is the Message is from Soul Train. That's a Soul Train record. That was made for Soul Train. So the parents was in the club playing that. And that is what? That's the disco era.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
Apache was not made for but we took it because kids, because where we could show off our dance, our moves on Apache. The break in Love Is the Message, which I play all the time. I love that. But as soon as it came out, I had it. I was the first one to have it, whatever, to get it. It's the long break. It's the you don't have to you don't have to cut it. That once that comes
that's right. That is crazy.
Once that comes on, then y'all is in your mood. Y'all is in you. You can skate to that groove. You can do that. You can get that and hustle and bring your lady with your lady. That's right. So once you got your lady, so that's an older record. That's for the old wow. Apache. Therefore, them older people ain't gonna get on the floor and do spin around and get on their neck. Them older people ain't gonna do that. So that's the difference. Now, Queens, Brooklyn, known for doing that, going into the club and with their girl back in the days and spinning and
my mother and my father used to win dance contests. They used to do the hustle. Yeah.
You said it your thing. I ain't have to say no more. That's what they did because that's Queens and Brooklyn. So Manhattan, believe it or not, they were more into the what you call jukebox records. Okay, so they were playing some stuff like what's the one about who's sleeping my old lady, stuff like that, because they were gangsters. They were gangsters, and they were
Right.
known for taking somebody's woman, and they were known for the woman coming in and smacking the lady and taking her man back, and Minnie Riperton, all those Billy Jackson and all those stuff. That was they love that. What did the Bronx have? We had music like James Brown so that we could show off and do our thing. Boom, boom, and that was it. So you already see how the things go and where it comes from and what it does. People in Queens and us, when I used to go to my cousin's house in Queens, you couldn't tell me that wasn't a country. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going down south. They had the beautiful, what you would call it? They had the beautiful home. They had a garage. They had a backyard.
See, that's that LL and Run DMC part of Queens.
There you go. Your aunts and your uncles got 2 cars.
That's right.
Go.
That's
got,
right.
Okay.
That's right.
So, Pete, right? Because
go
ahead, Faze.
You got to understand how these musics coincide with the way of living. And so the reason why you were in Queens and you heard your parents playing that is because when you was asleep, your moms and dad was on the boogie floor winning them contests.
That's right.
Okay, and they came home and they had to practice for that record, and that was it. Okay, so our chance, the only when we heard those things was on Saturday morning. All right, we because you got to clean up. This is what Saturday morning was for us. Got to clean up the house. So mom's gonna be playing what she want to play. If daddy's in charge of cleaning up the house, he gonna hear what he gonna play. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna watch some Soul Train. We're gonna watch some cartoons, and we're gonna watch some karate flicks. All right, and then you could go outside. And you could go outside. True facts, right? So that's what it is. People were listening to this. People were listening to that, and then bring it all together, and that's what we got. That's what we did. And so now for somebody to say, because remember, if you remember back in those days, what Jamaican records you was hearing?
Not one. Not in them days. I didn't really start hearing reggae until about 84.
Okay,
that's when I started hearing it.
Okay,
that I can remember.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now they're saying that Jamaica was the father, the stuff or whatever they started or whatever. So when they started playing Jamaican records, when did the Jamaican records come to be hip hop? Like I want to hear that. What records were they? Because see, hip hop is, as we know, is cutting records. It's cutting records.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And somebody take that one part of the record, like the MFSB, and you can't MC over the whole record of MFSB. You can only MC off the break part, right?
That's right. That's a fact.
So all right. So what Jamaican records were they doing that? For the MC to be saying over, and that was the start of hip hop.
They always move the goalposts because 1 minute it's the music, that's the inspiration. The next minute is the toasting, right?
So what were they toasting to? The whole record,
right? Peep this though. They said on that article I read that the Sugar Hill Gangs, the cadence in their record, Rappers Delight, can be heard this dude U Roy, the Jamaican artist, you can hear him doing their thing. But peep this, right? I'm gonna play something from a gospel group called the Jubilees, and it's a record that was recorded in
I got
1945.
all the Jubilees break beats. They got break beats.
Now peep this, right? I want you to hear because someone put the Rappers Delight beat underneath it. I just want you to check this out real quick.
But all the time I really done. That's all the time I really done. That's all the time I really done. Nothing good enough for me. My Lord, that's all the time I really done. That's all the time I really done. That's all the time I really done. Nothing good enough for me. Oh, thank God, know what I want you to hear about the preacher, but got to fight with a man. Listen, don't want you to miss none of this story because it goes like this. A preacher went down to hunting one day. On one Sunday morning, and although he was one Christian man, he took his gun along. Now he shot him a bunch of nice fine quails and he shot some nice bad hares. But through the woods of returning home, he met a great big grizzly bear. All the time, but they all the time, but they all the time, but they done nothing good enough for me.
Okay, now, like I said before, that's us.
That's right.
That's where
the same cadence, brother. The same cadence.
That's where the Negro spirituals came from. That's us. And I'm gonna explain something to you too. And this is one thing that I gotta you gotta take the visual from. Okay, that's why they say we have soul. Now the reason why is because a metronome goes like this, right? So a lot of people, other people, that's what they have. That's what they go by. They go by this. We don't have that. We have this. Continuous. And that's the reason. Look, here, I'm going to show you something else. All right, I'm going to show you something else. Since you playing records for me and I am the record master, I'm going to show you something. Okay. All right, this is gospel record. Amen. 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 Amen.
Yep.
You hear that? You hear that, right, Ali?
Come
on, man. Stop playing with us, man.
Okay. All right.
Wasn't doing that nowhere else.
Okay. Now, what year was that, FaZe? What year was that record?
Oh God! Now, don't give me the line, but I know it's a '60s record. I know it's a '60s record.
And we didn't even have to play Pygmy Markham. We didn't even have to play Pygmy Markham. A lot of people know, Here Come the Judge, and I think there's another one by him called.
It was made in 1969.
69. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. And so now, remember these records, right? I would get them sometimes before they came out or exactly when they came out, because I was waiting for these records. I was waiting for the drums to come out. I was waiting for them. And so now we were playing these records, dancing to these records in 69 and stuff like that. So how did hip hop start in 73?
Right.
How?
Right.
And then and how did it come from Jamaica? How?
Yeah, I can't see how.
That's right.
Okay, so that's so this is where the whole everybody that I don't think they want to I don't think none of those people that ever say what they said about that want to have an actual conversation with me. I don't think they. If you could set it up, set it up. Set it
Yeah,
up. Okay,
yeah.
set it up because you know what how I feel. I already did the video on KRS-One, and then after our videos, KRS-One did do a video and said that he apologized. They did some of the stuff that he was talking about. Hip hop was not factual and was not
And
true or whatever. He
and
did
and
come
Faye,
back and say that.
now you know Just Ice's song way back, right? That's to me, that's one of my favorite hip hop, old school boom bap classics. But I
Sound
didn't hear.
Masters.
That's right. But I didn't hear Mario mention, like when he was doing the shout outs. I didn't hear Mario. It was certain people that I didn't hear mentioned in that track. And me not being from the Bronx, you know, especially at that time, I got that album when it first came out. You know, I had the actual vinyl. And you know, so me being in Queens, only thing I could do was take his word for it. You know what I'm saying? But like, what, how did that? How impactful was that track? And like, what did he? Because it seemed like he left out a big chunk of the beginning of hip hop history. Now that I look back on it, what's your take on that?
His age.
Okay, he was younger.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. I feel you. I feel you.
So, you know, a lot of the reason why I was so young and into it was because, like I said, you know, I played the drums, so that was one thing. I was in the spades, that was another thing, and I was right there when it was happening. You know, I was right there when it was happening. So, and like I said, we didn't go to the clubs. Weren't in the clubs and stuff. So there wasn't no alcohol that I couldn't be allowed into the club. But no, you know, if you're in the park or you're in the carriage room, you could be any age and they can have alcohol, drugs, whatever they want to do. But you right there in it and you seeing it. So a lot of times, you know, it's the age, it's the people. There's a lot of people that and we used to call, and I'm not saying that Just Ice is one of them, but there's a lot of people that we would think that were nerds back in those days because their parents wouldn't let them come out and go to these jams and do these things and everything. And so all they could do is hear about it. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing Biz told me a lot about. He told me that, you know, how Long Island ended up getting this stuff is because he would come to the Bronx and get these tapes and then bring them to Long Island. So if you get this tape and they're saying all this stuff on the tape, of course you're going to go to the school and say, yo, I was at this party and the party said this and the party was that. But knowing damn well you ain't never crossed the bridge to come over to this party or whatever. So that's how a lot of people got their information, by hearsay. So when you find somebody that was actually true there, that's like just like the Herc party. That's hearsay. There couldn't have been a million people at that party. Couldn't have been.
Right.
So, but it's hearsay. People say that this happened at the party. This happened at the party. All right. So, you know, a lot of times is people were younger. They couldn't come to the parties. A lot of times they just don't know. They just don't know.
My man Just Ice said, and if I didn't say your name, that means you was not there. Now when I look back on it, I'm like, hey, you missed a lot of names, bro.
A lot of names, man. A lot of names, you know. And you know, well, another thing too is people, and this is in general, people go with what's hot, what's now, what's hot. So if this name is hot and people, just because you said that name, you down with the hot squad, you know, because you said that name. So a lot of, I mean, oh man, he didn't say nothing about Spanky. He didn't say nothing about Cool D, Tyrone the mixologist. He didn't say nothing about none of us, you know. And that's way back. You know, you can't
Right.
go way back than 71. You know,
Right.
so you know, those a lot
Facts.
of those names were, you know, after the first wave of it. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
so those names were, you know, right there on the forefront. You know, so just to say that name, you know, basically was in the hot. You know, you was there. You was there. You know, to say those names. That's another thing too, that people quote these sayings and stuff, and they don't know like the origin of where it came from, and so then it becomes twisted. And so just like we used to play this game when we were kids in school, one person, there'll be a line of kids, and one person would tell somebody something in their ear, and by the time it got to the last person, the story would be changed, it would be
Mm-hmm.
different. That's the same thing that's happened right now. The story has
Yeah.
changed because it done went through so many ears and it went through so many different mouths. So the
Oh yeah.
story is cannot be the same at all. But like I said, you know, people are and I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. People have went to my interview, saw me and Green Eyed Genie's interview, wasn't saying none of that before. Saw a video and
And
said,
now they
"Yo,
saying it.
we used to do that."
Hmm.
Like I said,
Is it breaking up some?
you did,
Yeah, a little
yeah.
bit.
What's you guys?
Breaking up a little phase. I don't know if you can hear us. Yo,
You
yo.
there?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
breaking. Yeah, he breaking up. He froze right now.
it's froze. Yeah, so I mean, man, you know,
You
like,
back?
yeah, there you go. There you are.
Okay, you're back. So like I was saying, you know, so these stories get lost in the traveling of the story. And so that's what only thing that people have to go by is what they heard. You know, they heard that this was happening, or they heard this was happening. And so 9 times out of 10. But see, you know, and I know I'm always all over the place, but that's the same thing. This has been going on for generations and generations. You could, one of the main things that way is the Bible. Those stories go on and on and on and on. So who will ever know the original story? You know what I mean? And so that's basically what happens. And just like now, you know, I hate to bring religion into it, but why wouldn't a group of people to say that, look, God is made in our image, and this is what Jesus looks like, and this is whatever. Because if they get that other group to say, okay, that's it, then that's what that becomes. It becomes that's reality. That's real. So that's the same thing with hip hop. You know, they'll put this person in the forefront, and they'll say, okay, this is what y'all guys have to run by, and this is the stories that you have to listen to, and whatever. And then that's it. Nobody stops and say like, but I'm so glad. Well, you guys, did you stop and say, wait a minute, hold on, something ain't right? This don't smell like perfume. It kind of smells a little shitty, like, you know, like there's a little substance that maybe smell, you know. And I'm glad for you guys that, you know, the guys that come and want to do the truth. So I salute you to
Well,
the, like,
we're glad for you, brother. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
you
we
know,
came across you, and we want to give a shout out to Michael Wayne TV. We
Shout
shout
out to
out,
Michael Wayne,
you know,
definitely.
other content creators on our platform. But those interviews that you did, I watched several of them.
Me
I
too.
watched,
Powerful.
yeah, and it's crazy. I watched a couple of those videos years ago, so that's how I knew where to turn. Because you got Busta Rhymes right now running around talking about hip hop was influenced by reggae music. And when we got brothers like yourself, again, it's we're not trying to diss nobody or create no beef, but this is ours. People always came and taken from us. What the Jack Daniels whiskey? That man Jack Daniels didn't create that whiskey.
Right,
A
right.
brother created that whiskey and they took it. There was so many things that we created that was taken from us. Eventually, hip hop was taken from us because we didn't control any of the corporate business behind it. We didn't control any of the money behind it. So in a sense, it was taken from us, and when we get to the point where it has produced some millionaires and a few billionaires whom
Billions.
whom I feel they should be reaching back to brothers like yourself. If there's a party going on and you know that a brother like FaZe was there from day one with the black spades and the baby spades, and you doing a party and you a millionaire DJ that want to spend certain type of cut, I want to get this brother FaZe on because this brother is one of the originals and he's still DJing. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like this,
Facts.
we've lost the cultural element of it, in my opinion, and that has allowed people like Busta Rhymes, that has allowed people like Pete Rock to come on and try to claim it as another cultures. They do that with everybody. They try to say people are from somewhere else that we call them freedmen because that's the legal name of our ancestors after slavery. So we have resurrected that name since last year. We call ourselves the freedmen, and that's who we are. All of that music is ours. Jazz, Muddy Waters with the rhythm and
The
blues.
blues.
When you
Yeah.
look at Muddy Waters, like to me, he's like a direct line to James Brown, which then becomes the direct line to hip hop. But even before Muddy Waters, there were artists, I can't think of them now, of course, but he came and he enhanced what he heard. And then they came up with the new form of the cadence of rhythm and blues. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. We like this is
What
our
what you're
culture.
saying, what you're saying, you have to really stop and think about it because listen, is a doctor going to tell you a cure?
Mm,
If you're sick and the
mm,
doctor's not going to say this is the cure to make you unsick, because if you're not sick, the doctor can't get paid.
mm,
So if you expose these people that have taken the culture and they're getting paid for it, they don't want you to tell them the truth, because if you find out
mm.
the truth, that's going to put them back under where it belongs.
That's right.
And so that's why the big billionaires or whatever, they're never going to come and tell you the truth. They never. Just like I watched the Back to the Future one, and you remember when the guy stole a comic book and he went back
Mm-hmm.
and he was
That's right.
hiding that comic
That's
book
right.
because
That's
he
right.
didn't want them to know. If he was exposed, and it would be
Mm-hmm.
all over for him.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right.
so if these people are exposed, it's all over for them. So
Well,
that's why I don't and to be honest, I probably could have been way up there in the stuff or whatever, but I don't want
mm-hmm.
that. I don't want that. I really don't want that. I take care of my family. I'm comfortable. I fish. I do all the things that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that,
That's what's up.
because just like Biggie says, with more money, more problems.
Mm.
More
Mm-hmm.
money, more problems. So I don't want those problems. I just want to be cool. But as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna be able to tell my truth and tell, the people that can't get their echo, they can't get it. I felt so bad, and this is, Jay is one of my best friends, but I felt so bad when these people go up there and they say Def Jam this and Def Jam, and nobody says Jay.
That's right. That's
Nobody
right.
says Jay.
That's right.
I feel so bad when these people go up there and get these awards and they don't even say, "Hey, listen, man, if it wasn't for Disco King Mario, I wouldn't even be up here.
That's right, brother. That's right. That's
I
right.
wouldn't
Like,
even be up
let's
here."
go back real quick. In Kung Fu, it was always about honoring not just your master, but the
But
masters
the
that
master
came
before
before
you.
you. Like they've lost the critical element of what this thing. Well, I was a battle rapper in Far Rockaway, one of the best. Let me add. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but
Toot.
if my people's listening in right now in the chat, they'll let you know I was that dude. But it's like, there were people in my projects. There was this brother named MC Count. Now, there was a record, what's her name? Jocelyn Brown, somebody else's guy. Now, MC Count did a remix to that record. It only got 3 spins on the radio because she sued. The radio company sued him because he didn't get clearance. It's a record that nobody really know about. But the guy MC Count is from, we had a lot of musicians that came out of my projects, Hamill's projects in Far Rockaway, Queens. MC Light is one of them. Raekwon the Chef is another one. Just Ice's cousin, Be Ourself, is another one, but he didn't blow up or make no records. But if you ever heard that song in New York, on the Allen, you won't be smelling because up there they be wailing on Rikers Island. Goddamn with Jerry, who took your commissary on the Allen. Be Ourself, that came out of Hamill's projects for Rockaway. So we got some history there in my little hood. But I'm gonna send Brother Ali the link to the MC Count remix, and so he could send it to you to see if you ever heard that, because it only played on the radio. It got 3 spins, and the record company quickly snatched it.
Who played it?
Got yanked. I think it was either Kiss or
Who
BLS.
played it? Who played it on the radio?
Oh, I can't remember the DJ.
But do you know the DJ? Do you know the DJ who played it?
No, I can't remember the DJ. I just remember it was either Kiss or BLS. That was it, though, because those are the only 2 radio stations, really black radio stations in New York that started to spin.
But yeah, I think 92 KTU was playing.
Yeah, they was more too. Underground. Yeah, I listened to
a little bit.
Yeah, I listened to 92 KTU when I wanted to hear the unsigned hype and the underground.
Okay, and now that you're talking about radio, that's another thing that's another thing that hurts me too.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Magic and I forget the other one were the first ones to play hip hop on radio when that's not true.
Oh, really?
Frankie Crocker played hip hop on AM FM when before it was WBLS.
Really?
Oh,
so before you saying before WHBI with Mr. Magic, Frankie Crocker was already playing stuff?
Frankie Crocker was already playing. He had already played hip hop records, because see, this is another thing too. They say that the first record that was hip hop was Spoonie G. I mean, not Spoonie G, was it was a cross between, I think, Funky 4 and Sugar Hill Gang. That was, but that's not true.
Yeah, no, they say King Tim.
They even say the King Tim Third.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true. There was a junior high school band They played. They were doing the thing, and they was doing somewhat like the record that you played. Was saying stuff, but they were saying stuff about their school, and it was in the cadence of hip hop. And that was before. That was a 70s record. That was maybe 76 or whatever. That was a record. A lot. There was a couple of crews that went to. You remember they had this thing that you call. You go to the mall and you make your record or whatever, and they used to do the tapes and stuff like that. There was another group of people that went and was doing that, and that somehow got to the radio station, and that was played. So there's a lot of things that people just say that whatever, because that's all they know. When Sugar Hill came out with that record, I was pissed.
There's a lot of people said that.
I was these cornballs. The what? What they come and say, and then what really hurt me was I heard Cass say some of those records. Grandmaster Cass say some of those
I've
lines.
heard that.
I heard him say that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So how you going to get on the
Fly.
record and yeah, right as Casanova Fly, and he said some of those lines. And so, when that record came out, it got me so mad. And then to go one further, say that's the first hip hop record. So, it's like, to me, it's like this. It's like, I guess you get in where you fit in. I guess that term really kind of works, because if they didn't do what they did and steal or whatever, I guess it wouldn't be as what it is. But I think that since they did do that, they need to go back and they say, listen, here, thank you for allowing me to have this avenue to do it. You see what I'm saying? Jay-Z's a billionaire.
That's right.
He's a billionaire. When has he gone back and said, yo, who really started this hip hop stuff? Who gave me the avenue to be this billionaire? You're a billionaire. You mean you can't give $1 million to the person that gave you a lesson to give you $1 billion?
That's right.
Come on, man.
That's right.
Come on, man.
Yeah. It should be the hip hop museum.
I know people.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's enough. Okay, now they're gonna be mad at me. They're gonna be mad at me. They're gonna be mad at me. All right, they're gonna be mad at me. But why do you think there's a lot of key people that don't even want to be involved with any hip hop, these kinds of hip hop museums? You know why? Because it's just like I said, a lot of stuff is based on hearsay, not being there. And once you're there, you know the difference. I'm never going to say I was at a party and wasn't there, because I don't want to get caught up in the lie. I'd be saying, somebody be saying, yo, they opened the door this time of day, whatever. And then I say that they did that. And then they come out that that didn't happen at the party. Then look what I look like. What I look like. So I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to say, yo, I was at this party because I wasn't there. 9 times out of 10. It's so funny. And this is so funny that I thought about it the other day. I have never paid for a party. I've never paid for a party. Like, in the existence of paid for a party, I've never paid for a party. Like, never. I've always known the person doing this, rocking, whether it be Theodore, Cold Crush, Mean Gene, Flash, all of them. Everybody, yo, I'm phased, bomb, okay, and they know me. You know what I'm saying? So I never paid for a party. Never had to do that. So, the younger generation, I could go up to them and they'd be like, I don't know, I don't care who you are, or whatever. And that ain't right. That's not right. You gotta pay homage. You got, and the reason why these kids do that is because they don't have no enough that structure
That's
of
right.
it being is not there anymore. To be honest, none of it is the same. None of it. When we were kids, number one, we were not rapping or MCing about killing nobody,
That's right.
Right.
drugs, homosexuality or whatever. We didn't even know
Right.
what a homo was. We didn't know that.
Right.
So how could we be rapping about this? You see what I'm saying? We didn't know about mollies and,
Absolutely.
and putting this and this and that and this and getting high and do, no. Something that we did know about though
Facts.
is that you might have got your whole furniture set from Corvettes with food stamps. And that was it. We knew that, you know.
That's
We
funny.
knew that, you know what I'm saying? And so
Yo,
that's what we did.
Corvettes, man. That's crazy.
Okay. And so now,
Corvettes, two guys.
two guys,
Corvette.
and the only way, the only furniture you got is Siemens furniture, because I went there and I did my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's furniture, right?
Oh,
You know,
man.
and stuff like that. So those were snaps. Those were snaps.
Yeah.
And that's what hip hop was about, man. I mean, you know, if you really stop and think about it, and you listen to these lyrics, to these things that he do, the DJ is absolutely no more. Really, basically, people don't even go to studios no more. So it's not even you
Right.
remember,
That's
just
true.
like you said, you came to J and did the studio thing or whatever. Yeah, because the board was there. We had the board, we had the samples, we had all of that stuff, drums, we had all of that stuff was there. They don't need that no more. They get them a laptop,
Nope.
they do whatever they do, and they say they stuff over the thing, and that's it. So the whole culture, the whole DJ idea, the whole everything is gone. It's no more.
Yo, it's
So
crazy. Yo, let me tell you.
why would these kids wanna even say yo? Because they don't know nothing about it.
Let me tell you what
And
my
who's
man
getting
Chuck
paid?
Rock.
Who's getting paid? We not getting paid.
Right.
that's right.
Let me tell you what my man Chuck Rock told me about the one time he was on a plane, and he was sitting next to Chris Brown, and he said Chris Brown had his laptop with a USB mic, and he was recording on a laptop through the USB mic, and he was telling him like, "Yo, I do my vocals just like that, like just with the USB mic right into. I don't know if he's using Pro Tools or whatever he's using, but he's like, I record right into the thing, and a lot of that stuff that he say he records like that, like he could be on a plane or whatever. That's stuff that you'll hear on the radio. Like they'll take that and mix it. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And it'd be like, yo, dude, just cut that while he was on the plane. Or
Compress it, do all the stuff he has to. I'm gonna give you.
yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
give you one better. And this was what was getting ready to stop me from DJing. Point blank. Period. I was going to stop DJing. Point blank. Period. This was right before the era of Serato and all of that stuff. You know, this is before that. So I'm going downtown. I got a gig at this club downtown, but it wasn't even a club. It was like one of those catering hall places. So I had to bring all my equipment, these big ass speakers, these big ass crates of records, my turntables, my mixer, all these amplifiers, equalizers, everything. So I did my boom, rocked it. The crowd was rocking, everything, right? Ended up, got my money. It was a $500 gig back. It was a $500 gig. So I got my $500. So after I'm packing my stuff and everything, waiting for the truck to come and get me, I'm watching this next guy, Caucasian guy, come and he's getting ready to do a set. So I'm looking at him like, where your stuff at? Where your things at? Or whatever. So he had these two little speakers or whatever, about yay high or whatever, and he had two iPods, and
Right.
this
Oh
little
yeah.
thing to
Yeah. Yeah.
change from iPod to iPod,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Mm-hmm.
got the same $500.
Facts.
And
Yep.
I gotta pay workers to carry my crates and all of that. So what I'm trying, the whole thing is that it's all compressed. None of the work has to be done anymore. And
Right.
anything that's that easy is what is it? You know what it is. That was the whole struggle. And I tell my kids this: would you rather me give you $1,000 and you go get your or $10,000 and you go get you a car, or would you rather go do some work and earn the $10,000 and buy your own car?
Right.
First, my kids was like, just give me the $10,000. Then they
Mm-hmm.
thought about it and they seen and felt how it felt when they went to the work and got their own $10,000. So
Oh yeah.
that's what it is. These young kids, younger
So
generation, they're microwave kids. They don't want to work for anything. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to. It's not a whatever. So that's why it becomes nothing. It becomes nothing. I give it. I used to say, okay, because I already knew that the DJ was going to fade out. I already knew that
mm-hmm.
when the group started to be just the MCs. I knew, okay, the
Mm-hmm.
DJ is going to find out, feed out, right? So then I started saying, well, okay, something else is getting ready to fade out. And sure enough, the whole industry, the whole recording industry, the whole whatever, just like you said, Chris Brown was on the plane with his laptop. Who else he need? What else he need? All he need
Mm-hmm.
is something to sit down to do the whatever, and that's all he needs. So
Right.
there's no more crew. There's no more
Oh no.
whatever. So it's like it's nothing to the game anymore. So
Nope.
the players of the game now, it's like I give up, man. I
Yeah.
don't want to be involved with this city.
Yeah.
And so
The
it's like
technology
I'm
is
at that point
definitely.
where it's number one, I'm getting old.
Mhm.
I never thought that I would be saying that my friends are 60 and better. I never thought that I would be saying that. Like I never could really fathom saying that. But you know what's the funny part? If I wasn't one of the creators of my style of dress or my style or whatever, I wouldn't still be doing it. I still do this. I still rock this. I still, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
running and doing it,
It's a part. That's
going
the
back to
culture,
the
man.
original
That's
people.
good.
That's
Mm-hmm.
a part of your thing. Back in the days where they had the zoot suit or whatever, they wore that till they died. They wore that because that's what they made.
That's
That's
right.
what they created.
That's right.
I'm
That's
hip
right.
hop.
Facts.
I'm hip
Hip hop
hop.
all day. So
So
yo.
I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change and be because what the industry wants me to be. I'm not gonna do that. I'm hip hop.
Facts. Well, look,
Simple.
Phase.
Tell you,
We done
tell
had
you,
you
tell your
on for
man,
like.
tell your man that. Tell your man
No doubt.
Tell your
We done
man
had
that.
you
Tell
on for
your
like
man
two
that,
hours, man. Huh?
wow. Okay. Listen, man. Anytime y'all want me, I'm here for you. Because, like I
Oh,
said,
no
I
Definitely.
doubt,
love
bro.
what you guys do. I love what you guys do. Don't let nobody
Thank
think that,
you, man.
I love what you guys do. Because just like me, y'all want nothing but the truth. Y'all don't want
Indeed,
nothing
brother.
That's right.
sugar-coated. Y'all don't want
Facts.
nothing.
That's right.
Y'all
Just
want
the
the
facts,
truth.
baby. Just the
And because
facts.
that's the substance. Just the
That's right.
facts. That's what the substance is. It's not none of that mediocre stuff. Y'all wear British walkers. I don't wear British nights.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
funny. So,
All
so
right. So
Naheem, it's on you, my brother.
anytime y'all want me to show you the British walker with the different tassel, y'all let me know. I'm
That's
here.
right. Look,
Yes,
when you
sir.
finish that
Okay.
book, when you finish that book, number one, we're gonna get it. That's number one. But we would definitely like to bring you back when you finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Finished it. If anybody is willing to step up and try to debate this subject, we already got you on speed dial. The connection is made. Like we got Phase. Who you bringing? Who you gonna bring? We got
Facts.
Phase.
Got
And
phase.
he's stepping through in the British Wall.
Okay,
What y'all
I'm
thinking?
there. I'm there, brothers. I'm there. I'm there. Y'all, please,
Appreciate it.
if there's any way I can put this in my archives, I would love
Oh,
to do
sure,
it. To put this show in my
sure.
archives,
Okay.
I would
Oh
love to
man,
do it.
you got
Y'all
full
send me
permission to use it.
whatever y'all can about you guys, just
Mhm,
whatever you can. And I'm
mhm,
telling you, whenever I do something, I'm going to do a big show in Bronxdale on the
mhm,
27th, November 27th. You guys are
mhm.
definitely
Oh,
invited. You don't
I
have to
might
worry
be out
about
there
nothing.
around
Appreciate
You're
that.
going to
that.
see the original stage. You
Nice.
definitely could come. My last event to show you how it was real deal Holyfield, we had blood. Now, blood, Mitch Green blood doesn't come out for nobody. Nobody. He came to my party. Okay,
That's
they
what's
was
up.
there. Had the
That's what's up.
original Black Space there. Guru, the founder of the Black Space, was there. Karate
That's
P
what's up.
was there. Okay, the Cool D was there. Tyrone, they was there. They was there from day one, from the 71. They was there. They came to my party, and they don't go to these people are over 60 years old, and they came because they know this is real. The booby, that's what they call me, booby, is I'm from day one. So I'm never gonna pull no punches. I'm never gonna say, oh, that didn't happen or this happened. If it didn't happen, I'm gonna be there and tell you the real deal.
Yeah.
I'm out in Bronxdale, which just like the park, nobody has did the Bronx Center since the 70s. So I'm gonna be the
Mhm,
first DJ, ever to go back into the Bronxdale Center and do a party.
mhm. That's what's up.
Nice,
Right.
man.
So
So
you
all
guys are
my New
definitely, you
York
All
could
right,
bring
City
my
your
heads.
cameras,
brother.
you could bring
That's
whatever
right.
you want to bring, and
Nice.
you're definitely invited. November 27th, Bronxdale
Got it.
houses.
No doubt,
Indeed,
brother. We
indeed.
appreciate that, man. So go ahead, Naheem. It's on you.
All right. So look, family, you know how we do here on Be the Power. We bring the truth. You know, we are a group of brothers that have walked through many phases of life. We've been through many schools of thought, especially, you know, me and Ali being from New York City. So when the topic comes up about hip hop, you know, I was raised in it. Well, how Bane said, I was born in it, molded
Right.
by it. You know what I'm saying? How my man said it back, man. Like you merely adopted it. I was raised in it, molded by it. Right. So, you know, a subject like this touches home. You got the new Wu-Tang documentary out. I mean, my 23-year-old son called me the other day. He was so hyped from the Wu-Tang series, and I had to explain to him how, you know, this was in early hip hop. You know, the
Yeah.
karate element that they don't really speak about when they speak about the four elementals of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Karate is that fifth element that people do not know about. And when you listen to brothers like FaZe and the Green Eye Bandit and
Green Eye
many
Genie.
of, I mean, excuse me, the Green Eye Genie and many of the elders that you
Genie.
hear, yeah, no doubt, on Michael Wayne TV, then you know you get an understanding of that. The picture becomes clearer, and I mean, we look, we 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 got to continue our culture, man. This is our culture, and we're never gonna let it die. We never gonna let it die out. So I want to thank our guest DJ FaZe. You are welcome here anytime. I want to thank the audience
Appreciate
for
you.
listening in. We know the verses is going on, so we know people over there with the
Oh
verses.
yeah.
So the
Oh
numbers
yeah.
is like, so we understand that. But I
Oh
know
yeah.
everybody gonna come back and watch the video. So we gonna take y'all up out of here with the motto of the platform, which is don't just fight the power, become the power. And then and only then will you have the power to make a change. And with that, I say peace.